stood up and change he created in some very drastic but powerful ways. Some of you know him as a man who lived without money for 5 years. So please introduce a wonderful man, a wonderful life, Mr. Raphael Fellmer. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And we're matching as well. Look at this.
Yeah, twins.
Exactly.
Yeah, hello everyone. Thank you for being here and coming to Bavaria to this amazing festival, and I'm very thankful to be part of it. And yeah, I'm not Kevin Spacey who can make a show like him. I'm very proud to have seen him in action. My name is Raphael Fellmer, and I lived for 5 years without using money to create change and to make this world a better place. When I was a teenager, I wanted to become a millionaire, to help the people, the 800 million who are living on this planet and going to bed hungry every night. And apart from the privilege to be born and raised in Europe, age 20, I had the opportunity to go to Mexico for my civil service. So at this point, I wanted to become a millionaire, but there I found out that actually that was not really my vocation. And I started traveling, exploring the world, the diversity of this wonderful planet. And in some later years, I decided I want to study European studies in the Netherlands. So I learned a lot about the world, but there was something missing. And in 2009, I got 2 email invitations from friends who were inviting me to their weddings in Mexico. So that was like a call of destiny. And at this point, even if I flew a lot in my life, I realized that just a return ticket to Mexico and back to Europe would cause about 4 tons of carbon emissions. That's twice as much as a human is supposed to emit in order not to pass on the agreed 1.5 Celsius temperature increase. And even if I didn't fly in 2010, it became the hottest year since 1880. Sadly, this record only lasted 4 years. In 2015, beat the record once again. In the last 11 months, probably you have felt it or you have seen it, have been beating all other hottest months in history since 136 years. And this year will beat by far all previous high temperature records. Like you can see, it's growing, the temperature. And like you probably know, for every problem, there's at least one solution. So together with 2 friends, we embarked on a moneyless journey to Mexico. We wanted to show that everything is possible and to raise awareness for the urge to tackle climate change and to raise awareness for the massive waste of resources on all levels. So we hitchhiked through Europe, Morocco, and arrived at the Canary Islands, where we were looking for a boat to cross the Atlantic Ocean. And we were looking for 3 weeks from one port to another, but we didn't find any boat. And finally, when we found a boat, the 2 Italian captains, and I can tell you never go on a boat with 2 captains, these 2 Italian captains were looking for 2 women instead of 3 male hippies on a moneyless journey. But after hearing about our project, they were convinced and wanted to take us to Brazil. So when we were crossing the Atlantic Ocean on this beautiful sailing boat, we had a lot of time to reflect on all the marvelous moments of unconditional help and hospitality, which we never experienced before. And I realized that there was waste, especially food waste, wherever we went. So I decided in the middle of the ocean that I also want to live moneyless after this journey, to create even more awareness and solutions to combat food waste. When my beautiful wife Nieves joined the journey, hitchhiking became even easier. And she's not only beautiful, she's a loved one which always inspires me, and also, even if it was not always easy with me living moneyless, still loves me. And I love her. Wanted to share this here. So finally, after 11 months, we made it to Mexico. And maybe some of you might thought he will not make it to the weddings, and you were right. So actually, we were kind of 6 months too late. And nevertheless, it was a beautiful journey, which opened my eyes to the beauty of this planet and to the things we have in common as humans. And often we also hear that the world is so dangerous, and there are a lot of things happening, but actually every human has a good heart, and we could explore this. So whenever you feel burned out and ready for a sabbatical, or maybe even before you have your burnout, start to travel, go out into the world to find yourself. It was in this time when I let go of my conditioned eating habits and adapted a vegan diet, because I realized that shifting to a plant-based diet is the single most impactful move a human can do to reduce one's carbon footprint. And the livestock industry is actually one of the most destructive industry in the world, accounting for 51% of all greenhouse gas emissions which the humans are responsible for. That's more than all cars, trains, airplanes, and ships combined. Today, we know that 70% of the entire agricultural land is used by the livestock industry, and that if all humans would live like we in Europe or even North America, we would need 3 extra planets. But we don't have these extra planets. There are no backup planets around. But we shouldn't surrender. We shouldn't give up, because we still have this precious planet, and it's too late to be a pessimist. So I can just highly recommend you to listen a little bit also to your heart. And I know this is a Founders Festival. This is a place where people want to get engaged and where it's a lot about business. But we shouldn't forget our marvelous planet, which we are also just a guest for a little while. And then we leave this planet, and we should also think about our future generations, our grandchildren. They also want to thrive. So I was going back to Europe with my wife because we were expecting our first baby, our first child. And the moneyless journey turned in Berlin into a money strike. We wanted to raise awareness for the massive waste of resources on all levels of our society. And today in Europe, there are 12 million empty homes. So we moved into one of these, of a person who was not using their apartment, to raise awareness that also by always building new buildings, there is so much space which we can use instead of building new things. And after being for 8 months and a little bit longer in the bins, I finished my master degree in dumpster diving. And what I found there was so much food which was still eatable that I was shocked, and that I thought I need to move beyond just saving food for myself and to tackle global food waste. So today we have about 1/3 of the food which we produced which is wasted. That's enough to feed the 800 million people who are going to bed hungry every night 4 times over. And apart from the precious food which we are wasting, we are also wasting the energy and water for the transport, for harvesting, and the production. And even if you cannot believe it, but all this food is worse than, or about $1 trillion. So it's a lot of money as well which is wasted. And maybe to give you a better picture how much land is actually used for nothing, look at this map. That's an area of arable land 1.5 times the size of the European continent, which we use every year for nothing, because all this food is thrown away or not even taken from the farm to the supermarkets. So I convinced the biggest organic supermarket chain CEO of Berlin that we can make a cooperation. That was the spark of the food saving movement. The concept is very easy. Since every supermarket, bakery, store which sells food has leftovers, we come on an agreed time, sort out what is still eatable, and then share the leftovers with friends, families, people in the street, refugees, or just eat it oneself. The food saving movement spread rapidly thanks to Raphael Fellmer, a brilliant mind which I got to know in 2013, and who programmed the food saving website. The food saving movement spread all over Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. And in 2014, we merged with Foodsharing, a German non-profit organization which enables private people to share their surplus food with others. The good thing about food sharing is that is something what makes sense, something beautiful, because by sharing food, it not only makes the person happy who receives the food, but also the one who gives food. And today, after some years of food saving, we have more than 150,000 users and 20,000 food savers who are collecting regularly food at more than 2,700 supermarkets and other food businesses which are in cooperation with us. And together we managed more than 400,000 food pickups, which account for more than 6 million kilos of food, which is enough for one meal for all people in London, Berlin, and Paris. So after 5 years living moneyless, I realized that even if I created the food sharing and the food saving movement basically without money, and that all these people which are working voluntary, we came to boundaries. And I as well came to a boundary with my today 2 kids, and I stopped the money strike and accepted money again, because I have the conviction today that with money I could even create a bigger impact. That's why we created SHARECY. This summer, together with my friend Martin Schott and Alexander Pudi, we created SHARECY, a non-profit organization which will scale and expand the food saving movement all over the world. And we will not only enable private people to save food, but with SHARECY we want to enable also new businesses to emerge, to save food from stores which cannot be taken by private people because you need trucks. So with SHARECY, we want to be the connection between charities, non-profit organizations, initiatives and businesses to save the food from farms, producers, as well as normal supermarkets or big harbors where there's a lot of food still thrown away. And why should actually businesses use SHARECY? Why shouldn't they just throw it into the bin? First of all, for sure, throwing food away doesn't make sense. So sharing food before throwing it away makes sense for everyone. And it's something what is easy and efficient, and it doesn't cost more time. It actually saves the businesses money, because throwing away food into a bin, you need to pay for these bins. And in general, we saved the businesses where we are collaborating with more than 60 to 70% of their bins. So they save a lot of money, but they can even earn money, because through SHARECY, we will enable businesses to connect with other businesses who, instead of throwing it away, still bring it to the market, like second back shops or whole entire supermarkets which are filled with products which otherwise would have been thrown away. And we want to create also a stimulation for the shops, because today everybody is talking about CSR, and people not only want to do it for their marketing, because people are waking up that we have to do something in order not to ruin the whole ecosystem. So we want to create incentives so that more and more stores are actually collaborating through SHARECY with other businesses or organizations instead of throwing their food away. This will benefit everybody: the organizations who pick up the food, the people who receive the food, the businesses, as well as our planet. And yeah, everything is about money in businesses, and I think today we will talk a lot about money, and tomorrow and after tomorrow as well. That's for me also a little bit a new thing, but I'm very happy that we have an experienced partner, Alexander Pudi, who knows a little bit more about this. And I already told you that it is beautiful to share food, and I can tell you all the people in the stores who normally throw away the food, they're happy when they have finally someone who picks it up before they throw it away. So less waste means also less CO2 emissions. And if all the food waste would be a country, they would be the 3rd biggest CO2 emitter in the world, after China and the United States. I received in the last, or we at Foodsharing, we received from more than 40 countries emails from people who want to start their food saving initiatives. And we know that there are a million people out there who want to start saving food, and we haven't yet managed to create a real working, functional website. And that's why we want, with SHARECY, enable all these people and businesses and emerging organizations with a powerful tool to connect with businesses to finally tackle food waste on a big scale. And I believe many of you here are experienced tech entrepreneurs, like our partner, Alexander Pudi, who is now a co-founder. And he is a passionate social entrepreneur and a serial entrepreneur, and as well as social entrepreneur. And I believe that together, combining the people who have knowledge about the strengths of the tech world with social entrepreneurs like we are now, we can create massive change. And you all heard about the concept of exponential organizations. We also believe in exponential dynamics and exponential impact for SHARECY. So we are very happy to have this opportunity here to get in contact with people who have knowledge and skills which we don't have. So we are here to connect with others who also want to make a difference, who want to make a change and use their skills and knowledge to create a better world together. I'm very happy that you were listening and coming here, besides all these other things which are happening. And now we are also for sure looking for investors and advocates who want to become part of SHARECY, not to get a financial return of investment, but with your energy and money and skills, you can create the change you want to see in the world. So thank you once again for listening and making a big change possible, because we need to tackle food waste. This is not a question, and I'm happy that you are all here, and let's make a better world together. Thank you all. That's it. Get in contact with us.
Thank you so much. Fantastic. We'll see you backstage. Well done.
Yeah.